What is going on, fellas, and welcome back to Hungary for Success with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. Today we're taking on Riga in our first ever Champions League qualifying games. Should be quite the interesting game, hopefully. Riga don't look the best team in the world, so we should be able to do, hopefully it's an episode of many, many goals. Having said that now, don't think we're going to, because I'm going to imagine that FM is listening, and we're going to get absolutely smashed. But if you do go on to enjoy this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Now let's, without further ado, jump right into the... Right, guys, so we're about to kick off the first leg against Riga. And I was just having a quick look at some of the teams in this round of the Champions League. Legia are here. Surprisingly, Galway United. Did not expect them to be in Europe, let alone in the Champions League. But this is how we're going to line up for today's game. We have Wagner in goal, Bushiri and Perelevsky as our wing backs, Ziris and Pushkash as our central midfield or central defence, with Burklaka and Kovic as our central midfield, Versace and Rosas as our wide men behind Griffin and Mendoza. We have some injuries and suspensions that are going to be missing today's game. On guard, Derek and Gerardo Silva all suspended, so that's two of our main left backs out suspended, hence why Perelevsky is playing on the left. Carlsberg and Eidergaard are both injured, so we're going to have to play without them. No Mandira in the first team today. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Griffin is coming in to be pressing forward. I'm hoping that he can get involved. Mandira is sitting on the bench, so if needs be, could bring him on and see if he can do something. The assistant manager was saying that I should swap the two centre-backs around. I'm not really sure why. They're saying we're going to have trouble getting motivated against these lads. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Or at least I hope it's not going to be an issue, because they're only like a star quality-wise behind us. So it's not as if it's like a half-star team against a four-star team. But Versace has put us into the lead with the first goal of our season, our first Champions League goal ever. Get in there, my son. I'm 99% sure this is the first time the club has ever made it to the Champions League. It's definitely the first time they'd ever made it to the Europa Conference League, because it's only existed for 3 years now in game. Versace finds Ziris, but he can't find the back of the net. I think Ziris definitely will be one of those players that gets many, many games this year as a starting centre-back. Derek, Pushkash, Ziris, and Suarez. Am I missing a centre-back? I feel like I'm missing a centre-back. I've forgotten. Oh, Bushiri. Obviously, Bushiri is one of our best centre-backs, but he's playing at right back today because of the fact that we're lacking left-backs. So that meant that our best right-back is starting at left-back. This is just, at the moment, the team's a hot mess. Kovic is really getting in there, fighting for the ball, does win it, finds Rosas playing on the left for one of the few times that he gets to, and Mendoza. Elmer Mendoza's first goal for Dorogi. Get in there. We did have many, many players that we were trying to sign not too long ago, like during the summer, like pretty much just before the transfer window opened, who wouldn't sign us sign for us because the club wasn't big enough for them. And I was disappointed by that, because we've progressed a good bit. We've plenty of money as well. We managed to pick up players like Didier Diaz, who, to be fair, didn't actually play that many games last season, but is wanted by some very, very large clubs. And even with a slightly weaker team than I would like to put out, we're doing pretty well against Riga. I did say, as I said, that they score, but they, as I said in the last episode, they do have some amateur players, which, for the best team in Latvia, kind of surprised. But then again, it's Latvia, so am I that surprised? A little bit. Speaking of, actually, we were the most improved team in Europe last year, which was a nice surprise. And the Hungarian top division moved up 8 places, I think it was, from last season. So that was that's always nice. Ziris is not playing that well, so Suarez might actually have to come off the bench, or we put Ortiz at right back, which is something we've done before. So I'm not overly concerned about doing that, because Ortiz can play right. Well, he's capable of being a right back. He's not the best right back in the world. We're going to do that change. Riffin's not played very well at all, so we're going to bring Mandira on. Put him as a poacher. See if he can do something with that. That is everything we're going to do for right now. Suarez would have come on, but the fact that he's a little bit tired from a friendly he played recently. But we're going to just keep going. Puskás, interesting, and somehow Rosas puts that in the back of the net. I did not think that free kick was very good. Turns out, worked out quite well. We've 3 away goals now. I'm not sure what their goalkeeper was doing. Like, he probably could have just let that run out. The fact that Rosas actually got that in the back of the net is exceptional. That was a very, very tight angle. Riga have another attack. This time, Puskás heads it away and Rosas is onto it. What's he going to do with it? He's just going to keep running. Nobody seems to want to stop him. And then he baby-foots it back to the goalkeeper. That was a great run. Terrible shot. As you would expect. I suppose you wouldn't necessarily expect it. He has picked up an injury though, so we're going to take him off and bring on Abe. He can be an inverted winger on that side. I feel like Hiroki Abe, one of those players that's really, really good, but he's just going to struggle to get into the team. So if offers do come in for him, might be a bad idea just to let him leave. For money, obviously. I'm not going to just be like, oh, do you want to leave? Yeah, no bother. Their centre-back floats across in, and that was quite a nice cross, actually, for a centre-back. Abe gets his jogging boots on. Mendoza is through, and the keeper makes quite a nice save. Our goalkeeper, on the other hand, Hudvagner, doesn't really have to do an awful lot. They've cleared it, but not very well. Yeah, to be fair, he's made 3 saves. Well, they've had 3 shots on target that have not gone into the back of the net, so I'd imagine Hudvagner's had something. Well, they've had 3 shots and 1's gone into the back of the net. So I'd imagine that Hudvagner's done something in this game. Did well to shield the goal in that one. Hudvagner with goal kick. His distribution today has been horrendous. Versace with a fantastic tackle though. Ortiz keeps it in. If this leads to a goal, I'll be either quite happy or quite disappointed, depending on which way the goal goes. That looked very offside. It was. I think every one of their players was offside. Like everyone that was attacking looked in an offside position, and doesn't really matter because we've come out of this with a victory. So 3 away goals. Can't imagine Riga scoring 3 away goals against us as well. So we're just going to go into the next leg, not having to worry too much. We probably will have some transfers happen in the in-betweeny bit, because there's about a week between the games. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. How did Galway got smashed by Ludogorets. Unfortunately, that's to be expected. And Legia absolutely smashing Tuzla. So we're going to be back in just a second for the next leg. A couple of players have interest in them, so we'll have to find out if any of those transfers end up doing anything. So back in a second with that. Right, players, so it is time for the second leg against Riga. This time we're at home, obviously, because that's how 2-legged games do be. Since we were here last, we have signed Carlos Rentira, who's a left-back Colombian, who I was chasing for a little while, to be fair. Massive upgrade on what we had at left-back. The guy looks pretty spicy. Not a huge amount of money paying him, so pretty good. Didier Diaz left to go to Juventus. I'm a little disappointed he picked Juventus because Inter Milan were offering us more money. It's 2.9 up front, potentially 8.75 million. We do have a sell on with him, and we have, what is it? There's a friendly as well, I think it is. Find it. So yeah, it's a 30% sell on. They'll pay us 400,000 per game for the next 10 games. So hopefully he gets some appearances. After he plays 10 league games, we get 2 million, and that 30% sell on, which is quite important. And we have the friendly. His value's already gone to 6.25 million. just by the fact that he's moved to Juventus. So, but Inter Milan were offering us like, was it 11 million all in? With this, the same of everything. Would have been quite nice if we'd gotten that, but what can you do? It's better than the Porto offer that we got, which was just, I think, a flat 8.25 million, nothing else. So I shit myself that he was going to join Porto, because that's a club he was very interested in by the sounds of it, because he did say he wanted to join PSG or Porto. Thankfully he went to Juventus. Um, PSG never actually offered, that I can remember, never actually offered to sign him, which I found interesting, shall we say. But for today's game, we are starting with Ruud Wagner in goal, Pierre-Emerick and Silva as our wingbacks, Derek and Puskás at centre-back, Kovac and Berkliaka as our centre midfield, Versace and Abe as our wide men, Mandira and Mendoza starting up front. Riffin just sits this game out for today, just give him a bit of a rest. Ongard is back from his suspension. Carlsberg is still injured. Suarez or Vardanyan decided not to move clubs, which was quite frustrating, as did Molnar. So deal with that. Rosas, from the injury he picked up against Riga, still out for another 8 days, which is not ideal because two of my starting left wingers are out. We did have a friendly in between, so that's why there is so many changes from the last game. But we think we won that game 9-0. Diaz scored a brace. So I should put my fist and be like, have fun. No, I'm gonna point my finger and say no complacency. First leg means nothing. If you screw it up this time, I can't imagine we're going to. The one thing I do dislike about my strike force currently is they're both very similar strikers. So that's why I think Riffin is winning, encouraging them, not a good idea. Riffin is a different type of striker. He's got different abilities to Mendoza and Mandira. But let's see how he gets on. Pierre-Emerick can't quite find the back of the net. Mandira. Mendoza tries to get on the end of it, but one of the Riga defenders gets himself in the way. It looks like there's nobody here at the minute, which is not ideal. But we have made ourselves a cheeky bit of cash from selling Diaz, which is only going to get more because obviously the fact we got so little in the first place of the actual sale. We're gonna have to see how we get on in the near future when they throw the rest of the money at us. Derek is headed just wide from a corner, so we're working our way into the game. One shot so far has been off target. Too bad. Yeah, we do have a little bit of business still to be done. I don't think we're going to bring too many more players in. If anything, I would like to remove some players from the team. So we just have to wait and see what happens, because there's plenty of time left in the window. And the next leg, if we can continue beating, which Mandira has slotted away his first goal of the season, if we beat Riga, we do take on Dynamo Kiev. And I was looking at some of their signings this season. Oh, they have signed so many wingers. It's insane. Because I was having a look through their team, just obviously just wanted to have a sconce and see if we were to get past Riga, what we'd be facing. It's a decently strong team. So we're going to be looking to avoid getting absolutely slapped around by Dynamo Kiev, if at all possible. To be fair, if we were struggling against Riga, I'd have been very... Oh, man, dear, hits the crossbar. I would have been very disappointed because, like I said in the last part of this episode, a lot of them are on amateur contracts. So, and I scouted a bunch of them. Not very good. They've had 3 shots so far today, though, and none on target. So nobody's having a poor game, which is good. The new left back obviously wasn't able to be registered for this round. I imagine he's going to want to be registered for the next round of games, which, probably will. I don't know which of the left backs I'm going to drop, because I'm not going to have 3 left backs registered to play in the next round of the Champions League. Although I don't think Ongard has to be registered. Abe, quite unlucky not to hit the back of the net with his attempt. But these things happen. Abe is just filling in today, really, more than anything. Riga have been very on top of, like, a lot of all the highlights have started from them attacking. Mandira gets the ball to Versace somehow. Versace does go for a bit of a marauding run, finds Abe. Abe cuts inside, and Clip Mendoza on the way through, and it's been disallowed for offside. The assistant has raised his flag, and it was because Mendoza touched it. Yeah, Mendoza touched it. That is. Was he offside though? So we're going to make a couple of changes. We do have some tired players. We're going to bring on Katona, make him box. We did try playing an advanced playmaker in this game. Gotta be honest, hasn't really worked. Mendoza's been very quiet as well. We do have him as a poacher for today's game. I think we're just going to swap these two around and see. I feel like he's a better advanced forward. We're going to take Derek off and bring on Zirus. I think we'll leave the substitutions there for the time being. We've motivated both the substitutes coming on, which is quite good. And I chuck a bit of praise at the lads because they're not going to score 4 goals. Abe just puts it over. I know the keeper got a touch to it. That's the kind of position where Carlsberg would have absolutely smashed it into the back of the net. But unfortunately, it's not fit. Can't wait for him to come back. He is quite the player. Mendoza continuing to struggle, so we're going to bring him off. Swap Mandira to the left. Griffin's going to come on as the pressing forward. He's composed, doesn't really care. The game is over, so could have brought anyone on really, but give Griffin a chance to run around a little bit. What harm? Happy with the result and with how you played. That is fantastic. We are playing Dynamo Kiev in the next round. I think we're home for the first leg, so that'll be an interesting way to start the next lot of games. Any other interesting results? AIK 7 beating Apoel 8-7. See, Jack Byrne. They have an Irish lad. Oh, speaking of Irish players, we tried to sign Gavin Bazunu. No, didn't want anything to do with us. He's gone off to Shamrock Rovers for less than I would have offered him to play for us. Legia go through 7-2. Astana are through last year. Ludogorets 6-0 against Galway United. They did not stand a chance. TNS are knocked out as well. We've done the business. And we have qualified for the second qualifying round, which is the round we're expected to get to. We are at home for the first leg, so that's going to be the next episode. Dynamo Kiev, first and second legs. Carlsberg potentially could be back for the first leg. A friendly did get cancelled against Huntveit because of when it was set, but we have made it through to the next round. That should make the board fairly happy. Yeah, pleased. As you'd expect, we've already made it to the round they were wanting us to make it to. They're not happy with the deal signed Varga. To be fair, our scouts did think he was quite good, so I trust my scouts. My system manager doesn't really agree as much. Currently operating at 2nd division. I think he could be a pretty decent winger. Going to leave him spend a bit of time in the second team, see if he gets on. What is the harm in that? So we've made it to the next round of the Champions League, which, I'm pretty happy with that. Dynamo Kiev though, don't expect us to be doing the business against them. Daniel James, Chong, Lukman. Who else did they sign? They signed a bunch of players. Pedance, Cordoba. Okay, never mind. Lukman, Luka Biako, Yannick Carrasco, Tade Chong. They've picked up some really, really decent players. Radu last season. He's still playing. He's still playing for them. Yeah, I think we're probably going to have a bit of trouble here because they're just a smidge better than we are. We don't have any interest in anyone buying the club at the minute, which is quite nice because if someone did come in and decide they were going to buy the club right now, that would be frustrating because we'd be put into an embargo. I kind of want to shift some players. We do have a pushing up there with the wage budget. We have 7 million in the bank right now. And we can make... Oh, we are losing money. What has gone on here? What has occurred? No bueno. But as you can see, we have a bunch of players in terms of going out, which we'd have 450,000 potential income if we sold all these players for what's being offered. Offered 3,100. Who are we looking to bring in? Oh, we tried signing Zinchenko. Alright, these two kids. Yeah, these two guys look pretty fruity, if I say so myself. But like I said, next episode is going to be against Dynamo Kiev. If you have enjoyed this one, do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do you think we got enough money for Diaz? I would have liked more, but what can I say? Huge amount of money to get for a player when you're a club who is not really supposed to be getting that kind of money. Thank you very much for watching, fellas, and I will see you in the next one.